Sailing from Tasmania to New Zealand, 1,200 miles, around 2,000 kilometers. I estimate it will take me 2 weeks, but in the end it's 3. The reason? I'm sailing at 40 degrees latitude. Here, the kingdom of the Roaring Forties begins. Every 3 days, a front comes in with strong winds painted red. In between, there are calms with no wind, blue. It's the toughest journey of the last 5 years. Also, one of the most rewarding. 4 gale fronts pass through. Light I have never seen. Animals as companions. There are technical issues that raise questions about how can I land. It's sailing as it should be. A large sea approaching Reykjavik. Clearly it's Reykjavik. You see her red sails and her bowsprit. I've got this painting from Bill and Patrice for my departure, and I think it beautifully shows how I feel. I am a bit frightened, to be honest. The second half of the world navigation will be longer than the first, and it will be more dangerous. But there's a safety island. And there is red sky over the sea. So maybe once the sea has passed, life will be beautiful. I put this painting over my bed now. The old one, Mount Rugby, my former destination for my journey, has gone. This is the new motto. Cast off in Launceston. Patrice and Bill have come, and Ken, the boat builder. Take it off. Thank you. The seaport marina is difficult. This is no good here. Narrow, wind from the wrong side. Somehow I managed to squeeze out. Bye. For 2 years, Launceston has been my home port. My life is now starting over again. One last time, the familiar bends of the Tamar River. Actually, it's not a river, but an estuary with a strong tidal current. I know many places now along these 60 kilometers, and thanks to Ken, most details about the anchored boats. For 1 day, I anchor in the York River, while out in the Bass Strait a gale front is passing through. The New Zealand authorities require proof that Reykjavik's hull has been cleaned in the last 30 days. That shouldn't be a problem. I applied fresh anti-fouling 3 months ago. I tried to film the hull as proof, but in the water of the Tamar, it's hopeless. Departure at 10 at night. The tide is running out to sea and the storm front should be over now. To film the hull, I heave to. The wind in the Genoa then comes from the wrong direction and is supposed to stop right here. Oops, that doesn't look good. As a New Zealand official, I would order Reykjavik into dry dock. Do I have to put on my diving gear here in the open sea and clean Reykjavik at 13 degrees? Or will the growth come off while sailing? Of course, the first storm front approaches at night, and of course it's pouring with rain. Sailing against the wind is one of these courses that is more or less unpleasant. You're not fast, the boat heels over quite a lot, and you're bumping into every sea that comes across you. It'll be like this for 3 days now. So, yes. I sail as long as I can. First with the reef Genoa, then with a storm jib that Steve Walker has sewn. Finally, I'm fed up. I'm battling seasickness, beer cans are crashing on my head, everything is sliding around wildly. My well-being is top priority. I heave to. Reykjavik is best hove to in a gale when you take an old jibs, leave the heavily reefed mainsail alone, and turn the rudder to windward as far as possible. Then she drifts sideways to the wind, creating a small wake on both sides. Well, not always. The ship turns upright and lies more calmly. I can sleep and I'm no longer feeling sick. There is high swell, impressive, but it's not poisonous, and the wind is very nice, Reykjavik is fast, so life is very beautiful. I trim Reykjavik on a downwind course. To set both head sails, I mount the spinnaker pole. Still 20 knots of apparent wind, which is 25 knots true wind. On a close-hauled course, that would be a lot. But down the wind and waves, it's a piece of cake. The second front arrives with a heavenly light show. I have never seen a spectacle like this. Such a beautiful light and such ferocious winds and waves. So it was worth to come here just to see something like this. The wind freshens to force 7. When the first gusts reach force 9, 40 knots, I heave to and go to sleep. The gale is followed by perfect sailing weather. I get a burst of energy. I install fiddles at the sink. Then I start the generator and sand the cockpit bench. Half the journey is done. The host country flag Australia is replaced by New Zealand. I eat the last fresh vegetables and prepare food for the next gale. It arrives at 6 in the morning with a flash. A tenth of a second later, the thunder. Gusts up to 50 knots. My worst case scenario. A lightning strike can destroy the ship's electronics. Why did I overlook that? I researched the weather forecast, and sure enough, 500 Joule Cape means a high probability of thunderstorms. After the gale, the calm. The engine is running, producing hot water. My first shower after 10 days. The wind steering system also gets a shower with WD-40. And here comes the setbacks. My mother's dying. It's not surprising, she's 95, but it is surprising that it's just now when I'm at sea. Just at this moment, my satellite phone doesn't work any longer. I can't load it, it's flat. So this is not only bad because I can't contact Marinette and talk necessary things with her, but it's also very annoying that I can't get a new weather forecast, which is essential for the next 4 or 5 days, because it looks like another gale is moving in and I would need to know what direction and how hard it'll blow. I managed to get the satellite phone started up again. My mother has died in the meantime. Once I arrive in New Zealand, I will need to fly to Europe. But at least I can download the current weather forecast. As feared, it is very red for a very long time. Just then the engine brakes. After running for 3 hours, it suddenly stalls. Working in the hull in rough seas. I changed the diesel filters, but the old ones are clean. The diesel pump also seems to be working. Where is the problem? Has something blocked the supply line? When I don't know how to proceed, I leave a problem alone. Usually, ideas come to me on their own. And wasn't there something about red-colored wind? I must admit, it's a bit scary to sit in this boat during a gale. It's such a small boat on this vast ocean with its angry seas. All you hope for is that nothing crashes. You don't want to leave this warm saloon and get out into the winds and into the wet, and you don't want to step on this deck that is shaking like mad. From time to time there's a wave breaking and the steelboat gives a loud shudder. There's also been a wave breaking into these side windows, but thanks God I've secured them with a double glazing with plexiglass, so that feels quite right now. So what I know is tomorrow morning at 7 it should be better, but that's another 12 hours you will need to endure. But it's okay, that's what I chose. From now on, the barometer only knows one movement, high. Nice weather, no wind. The high seas have washed squid on the deck. Camilla, my personal octopus, seems skeptical. Who knows? Albatrosses and shearwaters land on the water. They need wind to fly. Now it's calm. At least as far as the wind is concerned. Seabirds fly around Reykjavik every day and in every storm. Their artistic flight maneuvers are crazy. It's a different kind of sailing than in the tropical Atlantic and Pacific, which seem almost dead. Apparently, here in the cold water, there are enough fish and not enough fishing fleets. I set out to find my secret weapon. The last time I unpacked the blister was 3 years ago. That was in the Mediterranean. I puzzle and ponder how to assemble it. Then its big moment arrives. It generates 3 knots of speed from 6 knots of wind. And then, at first light, mountains emerging from the sea. A shaky radio message, I am among people again. The first Kiwis to greet me are dolphins, with a calf. The question remains, how can I land without an engine? In days of calm, I sail as close as possible to Nelson's harbour entrance. I start the engine. It stalls. I fill a canister with diesel and look for the fuel line. My idea to run it from the canister. But I can't disconnect the fuel line, it's corroded. Third option, sail into the harbour with my 5 horsepower outboard motor. Reykjavik weighs 20 tons. But just now the calm is over. The wind is blowing 15 knots right into my face. I beg customs to be patient with me. Tomorrow morning at 9 the wind is supposed to die down and the current in the harbour should be 0. The customs officer takes pity on me and my situation. I eat the last supplies before biosecurity throws them away. 6 eggs and a bulb of garlic. Next morning, the wind indeed has died down.
So far it's working fine, but now it's getting very tight, very close.
The customs wharf is hidden behind 2 bollards. That's tricky. 1 knot speed, almost no rudder pressure. And the clean hull? I filmed again off New Zealand. It looked impeccable. The biosecurity officer actually had watched my YouTube video from Launceston and was fully aware of Reykjavik's condition. Next week I'll fly back to Europe to the funeral of my mother. I'm happy to meet Marinette and my children. I'm not happy to get back to winter and Christmas trouble. Just now where I've landed in New Zealand summer. But my journey goes on. It will be January.